What happened on the fateful day of June 25th, 2009, when the world lost one of its greatest icons? Michael Jackson, the king of pop, was pronounced dead, leaving behind a legacy of groundbreaking music, unforgettable performances, and an impact on pop culture that no other artist has matched. But what led to his death, and what were the circumstances surrounding the day that shook the world? Today we uncover the facts surrounding the death of Michael Jackson, his final days, the people involved, and the lingering questions that remain unanswered. Michael Jackson's health struggles leading up to his death. Michael Jackson's life was a complex mixture of unparalleled success and ongoing struggles, both personal and professional. Known for his extraordinary talent, Jackson was not only a singer and dancer, but also a cultural phenomenon whose influence spanned decades. But as much as he was adored, he also faced his share of challenges, especially regarding his health and well-being. In the years leading up to his death, Jackson's health had become a topic of public concern. He had been dealing with numerous issues, including chronic pain, sleep disorders, and anxiety. His physical appearance had also changed drastically over the years, leading to constant media scrutiny. The combination of stress, a demanding performance schedule, and personal difficulties took a toll on the star. His health had often been a source of speculation, with some attributing his weight loss, pale skin, and frailty to various health conditions, including skin conditions like vitiligo and lupus. Others speculated about the toll his rigorous schedule had taken on him. The pressures of his planned comeback tour, This Is It, were immense. At the age of 50, Jackson was preparing to return to the stage after years of absence, performing a series of concerts in London. Michael Jackson's final days, the strain of a comeback tour. In the days before his death, Michael Jackson was busy rehearsing for his much-anticipated This Is It tour. Jackson had been in London preparing for a series of concerts that were meant to be his grand return to the stage. His final rehearsal showed a man still dedicated to his craft, performing routines that were as energetic and captivating as ever, but his body was showing signs of wear. Despite the dedication to his performances, he appeared exhausted, and his doctors were reportedly concerned about his health. Reports indicated that Michael was struggling with severe insomnia, and his doctor, Conrad Murray, was administering medication to help him sleep. Jackson's addiction to painkillers, combined with his dependency on sedatives, had become a matter of concern for his loved ones. He had been known to use prescription medications to cope with pain, and some close to him had been worried about the toll this was taking on his health. However, the extent of his drug use had been kept largely out of the public eye until after his death. On the morning of June 25th, 2009, Michael Jackson was found unresponsive at his home in Los Angeles. Paramedics rushed to his residence and attempted to resuscitate him, but despite their efforts, Jackson was declared dead shortly thereafter. The cause of death was initially suspected to be cardiac arrest, but as the investigation unfolded, more details about the circumstances surrounding his death came to light. The role of Conrad Murray, Jackson's personal doctor. One of the key figures in the story of Michael Jackson's death was Dr. Conrad Murray, Jackson's personal physician. Murray had been hired to manage Jackson's health, particularly in preparation for his comeback tour. As Jackson's doctor, Murray was responsible for administering medications, including powerful sedatives that were supposed to help Jackson with his insomnia. However, it was later revealed that Murray had been administering an intravenous drip of propofol, a powerful anesthetic, to Jackson on the night of his death. Propofol, typically used in hospitals for surgical procedures, was not intended for use as a sleep aid. In fact, its use outside of a hospital setting is extremely dangerous. Jackson had reportedly become dependent on propofol, using it to combat his insomnia. On the day of his death, Murray administered the drug to Jackson in his home, without the proper equipment or monitoring that would be required in a hospital setting. Despite knowing the risks, Murray continued to give Jackson this potent drug, and ultimately, it led to Jackson's death from acute propofol intoxication. Murray's actions were met with widespread outrage. In 2011, he was charged with involuntary manslaughter for his role in Jackson's death. The prosecution argued that Murray had acted recklessly and negligently, failing to provide the standard level of care required by a medical professional. After a high-profile trial, Murray was found guilty and sentenced to 4 years in prison. He served 2 years of his sentence before being released. The autopsy revealing the truth behind Michael Jackson's death. The autopsy report released after Jackson's death provided a more detailed picture of the circumstances surrounding his passing. It confirmed that the cause of death was acute propofol intoxication, with contributing factors including benzodiazepines, sedatives, and other drugs found in Jackson's system. The report also revealed that Jackson had suffered from several health issues, including heart disease, which may have made him more vulnerable to the effects of the drugs. In addition to propofol, the autopsy revealed that Jackson had traces of other medications in his system, including lorazepam, diazepam, and midazolam, sedatives that were often used in conjunction with propofol to help Jackson sleep. These drugs, combined with his physical condition, created a deadly combination that led to his tragic death. The autopsy also disclosed that Jackson's body was emaciated, with reports indicating he weighed only 136 pounds at the time of his death. This further fueled concerns about his health and the toll that his drug use and stress had taken on him. The fact that he had been struggling with his health for some time made his death even more tragic, as many felt that he had been living in constant pain. The aftermath, public reaction, and media frenzy. Michael Jackson's death sent shockwaves across the globe. Fans, celebrities, and the music world were left in disbelief as they processed the loss of the king of pop. His death sparked an outpouring of tributes from around the world, with people mourning not only the loss of a musical genius, but also the death of someone who had been a symbol of hope, change, and unity for many. Jackson's impact on music, culture, and the world was undeniable, and his death left a void that no one could fill. The media frenzy that followed his death only added to the confusion surrounding the circumstances. Questions about his health, his relationship with his doctor, and his drug use were plastered across headlines. The sensationalized coverage of Jackson's death continued to fuel public speculation about what truly happened in his final days. The legacy of Michael Jackson, a lasting impact. Though Michael Jackson's life was cut tragically short, his influence continues to resonate with music lovers, artists, and fans across the globe. His music and performances remain iconic, with songs like Billie Jean, Thriller, and Beat It continuing to captivate listeners worldwide. Since his death, there have been numerous tributes, documentaries, and posthumous releases of his work. His influence on pop music, dance, fashion, and social issues remains unparalleled. As we reflect on the life and death of Michael Jackson, it's clear that his story remains filled with unanswered questions. The tragic circumstances surrounding his death leave us with lingering doubts about the role of those involved and the toll of his struggles on his body and mind. The events of June 25th, 2009 may have brought an end to his life, but Michael Jackson's legacy lives on in his music, his influence, and the impact he made on the world. If this video thrilled you, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. What do you think happened to Michael Jackson on that fateful day? Share your thoughts in the comments below.